Yeah, my name's Hannah Newman, H-A-N-N-A-H, Newman, N-E-U-M-A-N.
Kim Rosales, K-I-M-R-O-S-A-L-E-S.
What are you guys doing here today?
Well, originally I didn't even know this was going on. We came here to come to the gym, but we saw this, and at first I honestly thought it was like a crime scene, like, you know, something had happened. But then we saw like protesting out here, and I can't swear, right? No. All right. I very dislike ICE very strongly, and so this wonderful woman over here offered me a sign to show that I disagree with them, and I just wanted to come out here and show my support.
Have you guys gotten any information about what's going on in here yet?
No, from what I know that they haven't came out yet. I'm pretty sure that people are just trying to block their cars in right now. I know that there might be also people down there because they might come out from the back as well, but I haven't heard anything.
What do you know about what's going on in there, though?
I know that they're in there. That's about it.
What kind of activity have you seen?
I've seen them just, honestly, it kind of looks like they're just killing time in there. Like, they're kind of just, like, scared to come out, or just, like, I don't know, like, they're kind of hoping that we just, like, go away. Because, honestly, it just looks like they're just, like, walking around. Like, there was a guy over there, like, kind of talking on the phone. I mean, he looked a little distressed. Like, he was kind of, like yelling and stuff. But they've just been killing time.
Have you seen them take anybody out of there in handcuffs?
I personally haven't seen anything of like handcuffs or anything like that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Anything else you want to say about what's happening right now?
All I gotta say is ICE can leave our community, and they don't belong here. The immigrants, like, they're just here to support us, and we want to help that too.
Thank you so much for
sharing.
sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, they want us to be ready to do live.
Okay.
Yep, I got you. Yep. My IFB keeps going in and out, so if you need to. I'll just stay over here. Okay, it's just me, like you're not going to Sean or anything? Okay. I just, with these things, I want to make sure I don't say anything inaccurate. And Zach, just to warn you, I mean, obviously they're saying Spanish swear words right now. I don't know if they'll end up saying any English swear words.
You guys have bad words.
I know. I was just warning him. Literally was just telling him.
There's an F word on a
Okay, thanks.
They are going after anyone and racially profiling people who have different color skin and maybe speak with an accent. That is all they are looking for, and it's unacceptable.
Hi, I'm Gabriella.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
Thank
to
you for.
meet I've been working actively on ICE accountability, and especially in light of the murder that happened this weekend at the hands of federal agents. I am deeply concerned about ICE in our communities. I don't think that they are making our communities safer, and they should not be here. So now we're here. You see the community is out with the same message. We do not want ICE in Phoenix or anywhere in the country.
What is your message specifically to ICE?
My message to ICE is please get out of our communities. We do not need or want you here. ICE is unfortunately an arm of this Trump administration that is designed to use cruelty as policy and purposefully incite chaos and violence. Donald Trump himself has said multiple times that he wants to incite the Insurrection Act. That is something that he is doing intentionally. That's why he's sending 3,000 ICE agents to Minnesota. There's 1,000 sworn police officers in Minnesota. So that ratio shows that it's a complete invasion of the city of Minneapolis and St. Paul in order to create that chaos. And then in just a few weeks, that's resulted in 2 murders of U.S. citizens. So in light of that, There should be no more ICE anywhere in the country right now. I think they need to have their funding stripped. Back last year, when Republicans voted for the big, ugly bill, they took $170 billion away from Americans' health care. So your health care is cut to give to ICE to terrorize communities, and we need to get that money back, and we need to invest it back in our people.
Right now, we just know that several search warrants have been granted for ICE to go to several locations throughout the valley. Do you get any more information on that?
I have no information. The Department of Homeland Security barely responds to members of Congress who are not in their political party. This is an administration that is consistently using political retribution to make their decisions. When my office reached out to the Department of Homeland Security about the reporting we saw about a potential warehouse in Glendale and reporting about potential ramp up here in Phoenix, we got no response, and then the response that we did get was a complete political propaganda, giving no information but saying that they will be ramping up everywhere because there's historic need in the country. No, I mean, we know that because of the funding they receive, they're hiring in the tens of thousands. And Attorney General Mays' office, that happens to be housed right next to the ICE field office in downtown Phoenix, they have seen new folks coming in. So we know there's a ramp up, but beyond that, we don't have any direct information. You know, I am concerned about the safety of our community. Having worked at the city level, done a lot of work with our local police department, I can tell you what I heard in Minnesota from the police chief there is that ICE has decimated, this is her word, they've decimated local law enforcement's ability to do their jobs because people are losing trust in law enforcement. They don't even want to call 911 because they don't know who's going to come. And so we need to take the power back into our own community's hands for safety. We have police departments that are working tirelessly to solve violent crime, and CBP should go back to the border and focus on the border and border security, and ICE needs to leave our communities immediately.
Have you been in contact with the city of Phoenix or the police department at all? Do they know anything?
Yeah, we actually hosted an intergovernmental meeting this morning, Congresswoman Grijalva and I did, with every level of government around coordination for this issue. It was an off-the-record meeting, but we want to make sure we're all working closely together to prepare and be as proactive as possible.
Do they have any details that you're aware of what's happening here today?
I mean, there's not a contract between the City of Phoenix's police department and ICE, and that's a good thing. You know, I think ICE is rogue. I mean, they do what they want at the behest of Stephen Miller and DHS and Christine. So that is a concern, right? That's not making anybody safer. Thank you. Thank you.
The only detail I got
terrorizing our neighborhoods, our kids in schools, in churches. We don't want you here. Shame on you for separating families, separating kids from their parents. Shame on you. We don't want you here. You're not welcome into our communities.
Have you just say your name and spell it?
My name is Laura Pastor, Laura-Pastor.
Why'd you decide to come out here today?
I'm the councilwoman of this district. I represent District 4. I got notice through a community that ICE was here, and so here I am.
What have you seen since you've been out here?
Well, since I've been out here, everything's locked up. They're in there. My understanding is there's 3 more employees in there. They've been letting out employees on the side door. That's all I know.
Have you seen anyone been detained, or do you know if anyone's been detained?
I have not seen anybody be detained, but it looks like right now, as I'm watching them, that they're organizing to come out. So,
why was it important Why was it important for you to be here?
well, I represent the city. I'm one of the representatives.
Do you mind just busing?
Black man!
Can you guys hear us yet? Are you hearing anything? I just want to make sure because I can't hear anything.
Yeah, I'm on IFB.
Can we get an IFB check? Allie? Okay, yeah, I got you now. Yeah, I got you. All right, what's the plan? Okay. Okay. Zach, just to warn you, same thing as last time, a lot of swear words. So I'm standing back in hopes that my mic doesn't pick it up as much, but just to warn you guys, I don't know what the protocol is for that. And right now, they're blocking all of the agents in from leaving.
Here, just in case for that, because I think Troy is in
saying things and making gestures. But there's a large crowd of people here. Apparently they were protesting at the ICE headquarters, which is just about a mile south of here, and they got wind of what was going on, and they came up into this area that more than a dozen ZIPS locations were being raided by federal agents. We talked to a Phoenix congresswoman a short time ago, actually a council member. She said it's her understanding that they came in here and may have gotten one worker, was at least talking to workers. We don't know if they were taken out the side right now. It looks like this van right here has somebody inside, and now these protesters are kind of blocking this van from leaving. Again, a very volatile situation out here. And it's amazing how quickly the people were able to get into this area and again block this, ICE operation. And we don't have many details on it, just that it's more than a dozen different ZIPS locations. When I asked the councilwoman, do she believe this is some sort of a hiring type issue, if they're going after people for hiring, maybe undocumented? She says she believes it was. But Mark Caribe, no violence out here, I have to say at this point. But again, you've got people walking right up to federal agents, and after what happened in Minnesota, the temperature is very elevated, not only here in Phoenix, but around the country. But again, we're at the ZIPS at Park Central Mall, where there is some sort of a federal agent operation going on. We believe involving some sort of an employment issue out here. The ZIPS is shut down, and the agents are still right here behind me, and we have protesters blocking traffic. That's the scene down here in Central Phoenix.
I can see canisters of pepper spray. We're standing on just the other side of where Troy was, where these federal agents have been blocked in by protesters trying to leave here. We've heard them yelling at them, physically not letting them get in their cars at times and leave the situation. Some of the cars were able to get out, so all of the protesters are kind of now either some of them approaching, it looks like, some are staying back. We're hearing less shouting right now as people kind of just take in this moment and see what's going on. Again, all of this happening in just the past minute or so. What I want to tell you about what we saw since we've gotten here is a very calm situation on the inside of ZIPS as federal agents appear to be working inside. About a handful of them ended up walking out. Okay, now we can see these officers advancing towards the crowd here. I'm guessing they're trying to make sure that these federal agents can get out of the way without any trouble. You can see some people are trying to resist, backing up. Again, we can see them holding canisters of most likely pepper spray. But I would say there's at least 50 or so people here, maybe 100. So very active situation right here as we kind of just take in what's happening, Mark and Caribe. I did not see anybody escorted out of the building. What we did see was federal agents walking out with boxes of paperwork. So there are two entrances. We've been on the front side, so it's unclear if anyone went out the back end. But I physically did not see anyone detained or arrested. Just to give you guys an idea, too, of this area, this is a shopping center. So we've seen and talked to people that are going to the gym that's here. There's cars that are trying to get in that are met by this situation here. And so just a lot of different people in this area right now. me some pepper spray. Alexis? Oh, he's got his window beaten out. They crashed his window. Oh, there's Nolan. Nolan's over there.
I'm marking that shot.
They gotta come back to us.
Let's see what's going on over here. And they are moving in. We saw somebody get shoved earlier, or they may be just leaving. Okay, looks like they're getting in their vehicles right here. So the good news, Mark and Caribe, as long as I've been here, I haven't seen anybody injured, no pepper spray. Protesters definitely confronting these different police officers and agents. We don't know if anybody was arrested. I heard that it was possible that somebody was taken out a side door of Zips. That is not confirmed. But yeah, here we are. It's a scene again that we've seen play out in other cities, and we're seeing it tonight, guys, play out right here in Phoenix. I'm having a really hard time hearing you. I'm sorry. I think it's our earpieces out here. But again, now they're riding on
I got you.
trucks. It looks like good news. They are getting out of here. And again, without any violence at this point.
All right, just say no.
Kind of resisting police and confronting police. And I'm trying to remember the last time that happened here. But this is a very large group of agents. I mean, some of these cars, they're almost all undercover. You can't tell that they're official cars, but they all have sirens and they all have lights on them, and it looks like they're all trying to get out of here. I'm hoping to away here because they're driving pretty quickly in a crowded area. So shame on you is the chant out here. That appears to be what's happening. Can I talk to you quickly? Sure. How are you? Good, how are you? All right, so you're out here, you're watching this. What have you seen?
I got here early when ICE was inside the building. I heard that they were inside the Zips and people were concerned. You know, I've seen a lot of people out here protesting against them. I think people are feeling very scared right now, especially in light of the murder that happened in Minnesota. And I think that it's very clear that ICE is making all of our communities less safe and escalating violence. And I'm very worried. You know, I think it's really important to lower the temperature, and I think that needs to start with an immediate pause on all ICE activity across the country until there's a real independent investigation into what happened in Minnesota.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
watch this play out. Yeah, the DHS agents are all armed, which is what I was referencing. One man has U.S. Marshal on the back. They're trying to leave here. We'll see if they allow them to do so. Very active situation. Mark, just speaking off personal experience, that's the point I was coming to next before this scene unfolded is we've seen 3 of these happen in the Valley over the last 6 to 8 months. I've covered all 3 of them. One was a taco shop in West Phoenix where a business owner in West Phoenix was convicted of harboring and employing, as it's called, illegal aliens. We've also seen that happen at a barbecue business called Colt Grill in Prescott. Those 2 owners have not yet been convicted, but they have been arrested for employment violations at the federal level. And most recently, the Sakura sushi locations, 2 in the East Valley and 1 in Scottsdale, those owners are also in federal custody, accused of harboring and employing illegal aliens. We suspect that what's going on with this Zips location may be the exact same thing based off my experience covering these. So this is not new to the Valley, although it's likely to get heated because of this. That's likely what's at play here is employment workplace violations at the federal level. We've seen it happen. It's likely happening again tonight. I'll send it back to you. Yeah. agents in and around those areas as well. We saw a gentleman who did have the zip ties take a drink of water, so it appears as though they are, being given at least water, potentially food as well as this investigation takes place. You just saw come across your screen right there, one of those agents with a manila envelope in her hand as well. So this investigation very much taking place right now at this location. Very active at times, I will say. The protester presence has cleared out quite a bit, but I suspect this investigation will be ongoing here for several more hours. Send it back to you guys. Cool. Okay. Copy that. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
There's no longer right here. You guys check that door over there. Like two right here. West and locked.
You got two in cuffs by the back. It's kind of towards the back right now.
That's gonna be the back.
They're going out the back. I'm gonna stay here in case.
Yeah, they're going on that side.
Right here. Huh? Say what? Oh no. Mic check, I'm right here. We should come to me first. If you can't tell, we should come to me first. apologize. Just a couple of minutes ago, myself and my photographer Philip were really right in the middle of a man getting pepper balled by federal agents. There clearly was some sort of substance in those pepper balls that makes people either sneeze or cough, because it's happening to me, and we were right in the middle of that. The reason that was happening is because they just took multiple employees from this Zips location on Mill Avenue in downtown Tempe out of the restaurant. They took them into vans with zip ties around their hands. They loaded them in the van, and then they drove off. There was one protester who kind of got in a crisscross applesauce sitting stance right in front of that van, and then that is why that specific person was pepper balled, and you can see some of that white substance still on the street there. So that was just a couple of minutes ago. Besides that, it has been relatively peaceful, or completely peaceful around here. There has been some spats where these masked federal agents will come out of the business either to marked or unmarked cars, and then there would be, arguments between, a group of a couple dozen protesters here. Video you're likely looking at right here was one of those potentially heated moments. We've seen this where across the country, these interactions where vehicles are around protesters has led to violence and has led to people losing their lives for one reason or another. And so this is not necessarily unusual, but thankfully tonight there was no, shots fired by federal law enforcement officers besides those pepper balls being deployed just a couple minutes ago. I said this in early editions of 12 News, but I feel it's important to bring it back up today or right now. This is not the first time we've seen HSI or DHS activity at businesses across the valley or in the greater Arizona area. We've covered 3 of those in the last 6 to 10 months. A West Phoenix taco shop. We've also seen this at barbecue joints in Prescott, and we've also seen it at sushi shops across the East Valley. Those are business owners currently facing federal felony charges for harboring and hiring and employing illegal aliens or people who do not have authorization to work here in the United States. So this may very well be another one of those locations. What you're seeing right here is sheriff's deputies with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office taking down a lot of that caution tape. That's another point that I feel is important. We've seen over a dozen Maricopa County Sheriff's deputies at every single entrance or exit to this Zips location. What the Sheriff's Office tells us is these deputies are solely here to, quote, keep the peace. They are not here to execute any sort of federal immigration law or anything like that. They are just here because we've seen across the country incidents where protesters and federal agents clash and there's potentially violence. So these sheriff's deputies haven't really had to get involved at all, despite there being quite a few spats between these masked agents and some of these protesters. So still very much an active presence here, even though it appears as though all of the employees at this point have been removed from the business. But we'll send it back to you guys. Thank you.
Mic check. Mic. Just walk me through what you saw today.
Yeah, so when I pulled up, they already had the yellow tape up, and we had our Maricopa County Sheriff's officers outside telling everyone they were doing crowd control while a federal warrant was being served inside. And after well over an hour of everyone standing around waiting for things to happen, we started to see some Hispanic men, with zip ties around their wrists, moving around inside. One of them got let out of the front door of Zips by uniformed federal officials, HSI on the vest. They let him out while the crowd was, gathered around, yelling, cheering, jeering. Put him in a car, drove him off, went back inside. And then we all sat and waited a while longer, and then we saw another gentleman have the same thing happen to him. They brought a group out at the end. Multiple people came out the back door, escorted out by HSI. That last time that people got escorted out, we had people sitting in front of the van, protesters sitting in front of the van, trying to keep the van from driving off. And an HSI agent with a mask on his face and a pepper spray gun started shooting off pepper spray. And so some people took the brunt of that, and they pushed everyone out of the way, drove the vans off, and all those HSI agents got in some unmarked cars and they piled on out. Yeah.
You said you were riding by earlier.
Yep.
And you just wanted to stop. Why did you want to stop?
I'm a student here at Arizona State. I'm a member of this community. And when you see a bunch of cops outside and you see a bunch of uniformed federal agents inside, there's two sides to the caution tape right there. There's the people on the inside of that tape that are ripping, families apart, taking people away from their homes and the jobs and the country they call home. I don't want to be on that side of the tape, right? I wanted to be on the other side of the tape, doing what I could, at least being a presence to let those gentlemen being ripped apart know that there's people standing for them.
What's your name?
Colin Thompson.
Can you spell both?
COLINTHOMPSON.
Were you here when did you see a woman?
Because I remember you mentioned the gym goers. I was like, I didn't really get gym goers, but they were people.
It's okay. I don't think we need specific video.
Sounds good. Still waiting for the all clear, right?
Okay, Ivan's calling me now. Hello.
I got you.
Thank you.
made you want to say, I got to get out there?
This is my community. I want to protect my community, do everything I can, and I want to bear witness and ensure that my community stays safe.
We know that ICE is acting outside the bounds of the law. They are acting and taking illegal actions across the country. Obviously, we know that they're ramping up operations here in Arizona. This is the place where I grew up. I'm grateful to be able to represent at the state capitol and to be brought out here. And we care about this community so deeply, and ICE operations just are not welcome here. We know what they're doing, and so long as they continue operating outside the bounds of the law, we will be present in as many locations as possible.
Tell me what you guys were seeing here tonight. By the time you arrived to now, as this entire scene has wrapped up, narrate for me what you were seeing.
I saw one man, a worker, taken into ICE custody, or a DHS vehicle. We saw, we didn't hear, but we heard about a woman who was a lines cook or a pantry cook that was bloodied and was removed by ambulance. We didn't see that. Then we saw 2 more workers carted off, and we saw federal agents overreact and tear gas the crowd. We were tear gassed as well.
Walk me through that moment. What was that like?
It was frightening. I watched a ZIPS employee who came to witness and observe and was really deeply concerned and crying, and she was reaching out her hand to sort of touch the glass to communicate with the employee inside, with the worker inside. It was heartbreaking.
So one thing I've reported on, which we suspect this is another investigation into this, which is potentially harboring and employing, as it's described, illegal aliens. We've seen 3 of those investigations into other businesses across Arizona. If that is what this turns out to be, how would you all feel about that taking place?
Well, I object to you saying illegal alien. To be undocumented is not a crime. It's not a crime, so let's be clear about that. So let's use the language that is respectful of people.
That's how it's described by the law and how it's described in court documents.
And I'm saying how I describe and how we describe our fellow human beings, that no one is illegal.
How do you feel about those investigations taking place?
Well, I think we need to find out more information about those investigations. I think we cannot speculate on it. What we do know is that Homeland Security did have an operation here tonight and clearly across the valley. And so I'm looking forward to having more of those details come out, and so we're able to hold folks accountable and to whatever regard that looks like.
How are you guys both feeling independently to tonight about the sort of rumors of ICE operations ramping up? We've seen Attorney General Mays say unmarked and marked cars have showed up at the ICE headquarters. How are you both feeling about that?
Our community is terrified. We know, though, from the days of SP 1070, we know how to organize, and we're working with community. Mutual aid is building. We are fighting this, and we're going to fight it with the community. The courts may not be with us all the time, but community is with us. It's at the schools and churches. We're united in trying to protect our communities.
Well, I think the moment that they start operating in the sense that they are, it's completely dangerous. It only reinforces the idea that they are terrorizing our communities, and we're there to make sure that we're holding folks accountable to that effort.
Anything else you guys think is important?
Well, the idea that they're trying to ensure public safety here, they're endangering the lives of community members, disrupting their lives, their families, and if you're disrupting the lives of those community members, you're disrupting all of our lives, and we're going to stick together as a community. We're going to fight back, and we're going to do it through civil disobedience.
Thank you both so much. I appreciate you both talking with us. Yes, good to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.